Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of the Super Breakdown. Today we'll be looking at the RGM-79SP GM Sniper 2 White Dingo, piloted by Pierce Rayer. The White Dingo is a DLC suit. It is a 200 cost with relatively terrible melee, but with some pretty nice keep away, very good ranged attacks. We will get into all of our usual stuff, but first let's begin with the breakdown of basic shot. Quick snapshot, pretty nice. Doesn't do a ton of damage, but it does enough. Reload's a little bit long. You have the bazooka. The left trigger has some pretty decent homing to it. As you can see, it's not perfect though. The sniper has no homing whatsoever. That's on you to hit with. Does slightly more damage than a basic attack from most suits. But that's about it. I don't think the trade-off of damage is really enough. I think it probably should have done a little bit more. Then you have the Thin Garobi. It is pretty good. It goes a long time, much longer than most suits are able to stay out of red lock. They go into a knockdown state pretty quickly, but it can be very useful for hitting multiple enemies because of how long it goes. And then finally you have the search mode with the visor. Once that is on, you then have the ability to do this little sidestep with your shot, which is pretty nice. Bazooka still has the same spread, and the Garobi does not really change. But once you get hit, the visor is gone, and you have to wait until it reloads. And your striker has the basic sniper shot as well. Visor comes back pretty quickly, but as you can see, there's not really any great change to any of this, even with the visor on. You can, however, do some short hops to get out of the way. Do a sidestep with the Garobi that you could not do before. You also have your basic melee there, as you can see. Very effective if they're getting close. The melee on this suit is not amazing. In fact, most of it, I would say, is pretty short range. But it definitely does do the job. I would not use it if you had the choice. When it comes to melee, I would only use it as a last resort. It's not the kind of suit that I would just go in on somebody with. It's mainly for keep away and layering on the damage, but, you know, it's not bad. It's not terrible. For the burst, you have a Garobi that you can angle. As far as 200s go, I think it's fine. If it was included in the game at base, I think it would be a actually pretty decent suit. The problem is that it doesn't bring a lot to the table, and you have to pay $5 for it. Because everything that it brings to the table, for the most part, the Dynames brings to the table. Now, there is some novelty value in it, in that you get to have the White Dingo in the game, and that's pretty cool. But $5 for a support suit that is really good at long range and is decent at mid range, but is not that great at short range. So, of course, we ask the question, should you use the White Dingo? And honestly, I would have to say no. You should probably go with the Dynames instead. I think the Dynames has much better short range. And it hurts me to say that because I love the White Dingo. But I just don't think what it brings to the table is good enough for the $5. I think if it was included in the game for free, then yeah, sure, okay. It would be a fine kit. It's not great, but it'd be really good for 2v2s and 3v3s. I think as it is, for 1v1s, this suit is not great at all. You can get something going with it if you are fighting somebody that uses ballistic weapons. Mostly because you can shoot them out of the sky. But if you are finding someone that uses beam weapons, you really don't have any advantages at all. The only big one would be your range. But even then, your range is not going to make a big enough difference. When you have the visor on, I think the movement that it gives you is pretty good. And I would dare say is worth it. Being able to hop back while firing, being able to hop forward while firing, and then, of course, both directions is pretty good. I just, again, don't think that it's worth the $5 spent to be able to get it. We'll finish by showing off the melee here. You have forward melee. Does not combo. You'd have to sidestep to get a combo. Side melee. Again, does not combo. Back melee. And again, all of these have extremely short range. Back melee. Which is not, that's probably the best one out of all of them, and it's the hardest one to land. And then, finally, We'll show off the basic melee again. Which again, is not terrible, but could definitely be better. I just don't think that it's enough to be $5. Again, it's a 200 cost that I really think they could have given it a little bit more to make it stand out, especially among the snipers in this game. And they just didn't. And that's very unfortunate for the White Dingo. But because of that, I just don't think it stands up with the rest of the suits in this game, really. Especially among the 200s, man. Almost all the 200s in this game have some really cool gimmicks to them. And this one is just where you can move when you shoot. And it's like, well, yeah, a lot of suits can do that. That's not tied to the White Dingo. And yeah, it has a Garobi, but the basic version of the Garobi, even with the visor on, cannot be moved. It's only the burst version that can be moved. And it's just a thin line Garobi anyway. So unless you aim it perfectly, you miss. And you could argue, well, that's the point of a sniper suit. But I would argue that for $5, maybe it should have been a little bit more user-friendly. With all that said, though, I know I've been extremely negative on this one, and I'm sorry. Let me know in the comment section down below how wrong I am, what I missed. And with all that said, I've been Trey. This has been the Full Spectrum. And remember to always enjoy the full spectrum. A White Dingo has to offer.